See, some people work really good. That's what makes it so good.
What is your last name, and would you please spell it?
Bax, B-A-X.
What's your first name?
Daniel, D-A-N-I-E-L,
Middle initial.
A,
What year were you born in?
1948.
Where did you leave when you live when you became part of the military?
My address is Dixon, Missouri.
If you graduated from high school, what high school did you graduate from, and what year?
St. Elizabeth, 1966.
When you were in high school, did you ever believe that you would be part of the military? If so, why did you believe this?
I probably didn't believe I would be part of the military until later on,
Yeah.
in high school,
What branch of service were you part
the
of?
Army, United States Army.
How did you get in the service? Were you a volunteer or were you drafted?
Volunteer draft. They was about to get me.
How did you know that they were going to get you? Like, did you know that you were going to be drafted soon?
They had a draft, lottery numbers, I think it was. And I don't know, back then I knew what my number was, I
Yeah.
just knew it was getting close.
Yeah. If you joined the service, what? Oh, well, you already gave the reason. Where was your basic training at?
Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
It is said that a basic training breaks an individual and creates them into a serviceman. Do you remember what basic training was for you?
Oh yes, I remember it.
Can you go into detail about what you do during the day, and what was a common day, I guess?
Exercises.
Exercises.
Every day.
What time would you wake up in the morning?
Probably 5 o'clock, something like that.
And what time did you go to bed?
Probably around 9.
How long did your basic training last?
8 weeks, I think.
Do you know what year you finished it in?
Probably 1968, probably.
So, how long was it between your high school, graduating from high school, did you go into the military?
I graduated in 66, and it was 68 when I went to service.
Basic training was over, when basic training was over, did you go straight over to Vietnam, or did you go home for a little bit and visit with your family?
There was after basic you have an AIT training, and I went to that at Fort Leonard Wood also, so I didn't have to travel. And then I think I got to go home a week or something like that, and then I was sent to Vietnam.
What was that training? What was it about, and what did you...
Whatever you were going to go into the service doing, and they got me as a truck driver.
Do you agree that you were put in the right position? Was that the best position that you could have done, or do you think you could have done a better position better?
Oh, I think I could have done something better.
What did you want to do?
Oh, I had no clue. Get out. Get it over with.
Yeah. What skills do you remember being taught during advanced training? Do you remember
Combat
any?
training.
Combat training?
Oh, yeah.
How
to survive.
Right. So you told me that you're a truck driver, but what else did you do as part of your military service?
No, I didn't even really, when I went to Vietnam, I really didn't even drive a truck.
So what did you do then?
Oh, whatever needed to be done, done whatever it took to stay alive.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have, just look out to do whatever needed to be done, and after I was there probably for 6 months or something like that, or longer, I got it put into a rations breakdown. And I was the one that ordered rations for 5 different companies that I belonged to, and ordered food for them and distributed to the mess halls.
What kind of food did you guys order?
Whatever I ordered. Some days we had chicken and some days we had T-bone steaks. But you know, just the normal stuff.
Yeah.
But if
What was the 5 companies you belonged to?
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, E was, I don't remember, and D was Delta. I can't remember what E was. Bless you.
Yeah.
Mhm. And headquarters.
Headquarters.
Mhm. I worked out of headquarters.
How many men did you usually be in contact with in a day? Like, since you were ordering stuff, you were talking to people back in America, right?
No.
You weren't?
No.
So how does that work? How do you order?
The food came out of Saigon
Oh.
in Vietnam.
Oh.
There
So
was
it
a
came
distribution
from,
space down there, place down there.
yeah.
You know, and then I just fill out the paperwork for what we needed, and I would go to at base camp. You would go to a center where all this food came from Saigon, shipped in to Vietnam and Saigon. From there, they trucked it to where our companies were at, and then I picked it up there. Or not just me, but the other guys did.
Do you remember where the places were? Like, from the time you started there? Like, where did you start?
Well, landed in Saigon.
And then you just kind of branched out
Well,
from there?
I'm gonna take that back. I landed in. It might have been. I can't remember for sure. But we went to Saigon then, and then then you get shipped
Yeah.
different places in Vietnam.
What was happening in the world when you were in the military? Like, other than the war going on, what was going on when you were over, like in America? What was going on? Was there any like big, what's the word?
Protests.
Yeah.
A lot of protesting.
For
In
yeah.
Vietnam was no war.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't.
It was a conflict.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't know when they changed it to a war. It was a war the whole time, really, but they never called it a war.
yeah. What was your view on the president back then? Like, what president was in office at that point, and what was your view on them?
I think Johnson was the president, if I remember right. And in my opinion, all he did was got a bunch of people killed.
Okay.
We shouldn't have ever been there in Vietnam. I could never figure out why we were there, what we were doing there. We never accomplished a thing over there.
In your opinion? From your time of service, could you give 4 or 5 things that you remember vividly to this day? Like, what was the most memorable thing that happened over there for you?
Oh, I had a ruptured appendix. And they about killed me over there.
Wow.
They said I had malaria.
Malaria?
When they first tested me, I woke up with a real bad stomach ache.
Mm-hmm.
And I waited around, and they finally, just a medic on our company checked me out, and he drew some blood, and he said, well, I think you got malaria. And then they sent me to another clinic on base, and they did the same thing. And so then they loaded me into a chopper and flew me down to Saigon, and come to find out, I had a ruptured appendix. and they done surgery on me right away. About killed me there.
Wow. So how long did you stay at the hospital after you got your appendix taken out?
Day or two.
Did you go back into the No, you went
they
home?
sent me out into a recovery place in Vietnam. I can't remember where it was at. It was out on the Ocean Beach.
Sounds
Not like we think of it, Ocean Beach, but it was barrackses, Army barrackses, and you stayed in there for just a little bit. You had beds or cots
Yeah.
with a plastic mesh over it to keep the mosquitoes from eating you up and what have you. And every day when you got in your bed, it was full of sand. The wind just blew all the time.
Doesn't sound like fun.
And it wasn't too long, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days. They put you to work doing KP or whatever they needed done. You didn't just sit there and relax.
Yeah. What's KP?
Pardon?
What's KP? You said.
Kitchen duty.
Oh.
Work in the mess hall,
Yeah.
We help the cooks out, clean the floors and whatever, yeah.
Do you remember any of the names of the people you served with?
A couple.
Did they leave like a lasting impression on you?
Not really. I just never was real close to anybody.
Yeah.
I got moved around,
Yeah.
and then being in a hospital, and it was probably a month before I got back to my company, and then I went back to doing the same thing I was doing. But some of the guys were still there, but some were different people. Yeah,
So you have a brother, right?
yes.
And he was in the military
Yeah.
at the same time as you.
No,
Not as you?
he went in after I did. Came home.
Okay. So what happened? How did he die?
How did he die?
Do you know if?
Yes.
How did he? May I ask?
Yeah, a round came into the tank he was in and blew it up.
How did you find out that he died?
A soldier from Fort Leonard Wood came to my mom and dad's house where I was at and told them.
So you were home at this point, or your parents were at home,
My parents
and
were at
then
home.
they wrote you.
They called.
Oh.
Called me.
Oh, I thought you were.
Called Doris's mom and dad. That's where I was at.
Oh.
Yeah.
Um.
And how we found out what happened there, or a couple of his friends, I don't know, 10, 15 years later, was looking for his body,
Yeah.
for closure. And they called my mom's house, and my mom let me talk to him, and then they came over to visit with us and kind of told a story about what happened. Then again, just last year, the company that he belonged to down in Fort Benning, Georgia, had a reunion, and we went down there and visited with
Yeah.
probably 12, 15 of his friends.
Does your company you belong to ever have reunions?
They do, but I'm not aware of when they are.
Yeah. So how long did you serve in the military?
It's about 2 years.
2 years. What was the reason you left, or you got to be able to go home? Because they were appendix.
I kind of want to say probably just about like you want to get out of this school.
Yeah.
It was dangerous there,
Yeah.
and it's not like home. You want to be back home with your real friends and that you grew up with and around your whole life. Yeah.
So you were talking about earlier your living arrangements. So when you were at the beach, you told me how that was. But what was it like when you were actually near like Saigon and other areas of conflict? Like, what was it like at night? What was how many people were to a tent, I guess?
A building,
It was a
kind
building.
of like open on the sides,
Mm-hmm.
just a basic roof, and the sides were kind of open. I have pictures if you want to take a look at some of them.
Okay.
When I was down there at the beach, it wasn't so much, but back at base camp where we were at, artillery rounds going out, artillery rounds coming in
Yeah.
all the time. Choppers flying over, planes going over. You're there maybe 3 or 4 days in Vietnam, and you learn the difference of the sound of a round coming in and a round going out. It's got a different sound, and you'll know. And your body will tell you when a round is coming in close to you.
Yeah.
To get out of that hut, go into a bunker or foxhole or something to get your head covered up, because you may be
Yeah.
the target.
So a foxhole, is it just like a?
The hole dug in the ground, so scrap metal will go off
Yeah.
and go over top of you, or just some ammo boxes we filled with sand, and we got in, and left a hole to crawl in there, or just a hole in the ground with something over top of it, put sandbags over them, just keep stuff from hitting you. But I mean, you'll wake up during the night, your body will, telling you the difference in the sound of that round coming in. And there were numerous times I would find myself headed to the foxhole or the bunker or whatever,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be awake yet.
But your body would
Well,
be.
my body was, telling me.
What was the weather like in Vietnam?
Hot, very hot.
Very hot. Did it ever rain?
They have what they call a monsoon season, and it rains for
Uh-huh.
probably every day for like 30 days or something
Wow.
like that. Oh yeah.
Is it like really muddy?
No.
It's not
Well,
muddy.
it is in places.
Yeah.
It's different
Yeah.
everywhere. Where I was at one time, it would rain all night long. Hard rain. A couple hours in the morning, it'd be dust flying because the ground was kind of sandy.
Yeah.
And the wind would be blowing. So there were some other places the dirt was red. And when I was there, it wasn't raining, but very hot also, and you'd sweat, and this red dust would stick to your skin and your face, and you'd turn into a brick.
Would you wear bandanas to like cover your face from the dust and the sand? No.
Never had anything. Just your combat uniform.
Yeah.
Or hard hat.
So what does the combat uniform consist of? Like,
Camouflage. Well, yeah, see, every camouflage. There are camouflage jeans and shirt, and camouflage hard hat, and camouflage boots.
did you have to replace your uniform a lot when you were over there?
You was issued so many.
Yeah.
When I was before I got into ration breakdown, I didn't have very many.
Yeah.
When I got in rations breakdown, not only food,
Yeah.
I could get my hands on anything. And I had shoes, I had watches, I had clothes.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, because I could get hold of it. I was in that position.
Yeah.
And I knew some people, some big guys that wore like a number 15 shoe, real
Yeah.
big foot. They couldn't hardly ever get one pair. Yeah, I would try my best to get those guys some shoes.
So did you have glasses at that point?
No.
No. Do you know how they got glasses to people? Like if their eyesight changed, or did they just keep having the same glasses?
I'd say you had the same one that you went there with.
Yeah.
Then when you came back, they probably examined you and then gave you different ones then. But she was getting out of the service at that point.
Did you ever go to like a medical camp or like a medical base where just like delivering supplies or something?
Not to a medical base, no.
Did you arrange medical supplies?
No.
No. So So you never get back together with the people you served, right? But you went to that reunion, and
My brother's reading.
yeah, your brother's reunion. Another question.
He was in the third. He was in 3rd Squadron, 5th Cab. I was in the 1st Squadron, 4th Cab, and we were attached to the 1st Infantry Division. That's who we worked
Yeah.
under. We were the support for the infantry guys.
So, the money. How would that work? So you would bring money, right? And they would transfer your money into, I guess, Vietnamese money,
No.
or like money that's specific for over
Yeah,
there.
that the soldiers used over
Yeah.
there was United States money, but it wasn't the type of money that we use here. It was a different paper. There was no change. You got a piece of paper for a quarter. It says 25 cents or a nickel on it or whatever. And several times during the time I was there, they would give you different money because the Vietnamese would,
Yeah.
compensate it from wherever, and then they'd start using it, and so they'd change it around, so they couldn't use our money to get things.
Did you ever meet like Vietnamese villagers?
Oh yeah, all done.
Did they ever speak English?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Mhm.
Do you know anyone that stayed in a prison camp?
No.
No. So how many people were usually at your base during like a rough idea of
Well, each company probably had 200 people,
200 people?
1,000, somewhere probably.
And you would get all over. How many camps were there over Vietnam?
All
Yeah.
over.
All over?
Yeah, different squadrons, different
Yeah.
companies, no telling, I don't know. Many.
Yeah. Did Marines also stay at
Yeah.
Marines? Did you ever have Navy or seamen stay
No,
there?
they were, down more
Yeah.
around the water and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got when they thought you had malaria, you said that you saw like 3 different doctors.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. How many medics were usually at one of your
The company
bases?
had one or two medics, I'd
Yeah.
say probably, yeah.
And did they have like just a regular doctor, not a medic, but like a doctor?
Not with the company.
Yeah.
You would go to, or a squadron, I would say. You would go to the company then,
Yeah.
and then there'd be like a clinic there, And then there's no hospital there, but then when they were serious enough, then they would send you to where a hospital, and most of the time I guess it would be Saigon,
So you said malaria, that you got malaria.
That's what they said.
So I would assume that's like one of the most common diseases that you could get over there.
For mosquitoes.
Yeah. What other common diseases could you get over there?
Infections.
Infections, really bad infections?
I had a bad infection on my finger.
Really?
Yeah, about lost my
So-
finger.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Did it turn like black and blue?
yeah.
Um,
Just didn't get it treated right.
yeah.
Didn't get no antibiotics into me right away.
Um,
It's not like going to a drugstore and picking up something.
Yeah. So, you said that how long did your service last? Did I ask you that?
About 2 years.
2 years. And how many different places did you think you went in that 2-year span?
Not very many. Probably Fort Leonard Wood, and there was different places before
Yeah.
I got over to Vietnam, but just in Vietnam. And I was in probably 4 or 5 different places over Vietnam.
When you got back, a lot of people were treated like kind of rude when they came back. How were you treated?
Nobody knew I was back. Nobody cared if I was back.
Yeah.
Nobody knew I was even gone, really. You know, other than family.
Yeah.
You know.
How did you get back home? Like, what was like the flight schedule? I guess is how to say it.
I flew from Vietnam into San Francisco, California, I guess, if I remember right.
What was your first reaction to being home? Since you were on the U.S. soil, what did you do? What was like the first thing you did when you got home?
Kissed the ground. Thank God.
What was the first food you ate too? Do you remember that?
Probably was chicken, but I don't recall. No, I don't. I did not tell my mom and dad I was coming back. When I was coming back.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I wrote or whatever,
Yeah.
some of my friends in St. Louis. Because I'm from San Francisco,
Yeah.
we flew, I guess, into St. Louis. And so I was in contact with them. They came at me at the airport, and then they took me to my mom and dad's house. Surprised them.
Were they really surprised?
For sure.
So now talking about leaving, what about when you got there? What was your first reaction to being in Vietnam?
This is a stinky place. Smelled real bad.
Can you like explain how it smelt? Like not just bad, like was there a specific smell? Have you ever smelt it before?
No. No. It just stunk.
It stunk.
Yeah, but you know, it's like anything, you get used to it after a while, but it stunk over there, you know. And then seeing the people, how they live.
Yeah. So when you were going over there on the plane ride, you were with other like military personnel, right?
Correct.
So were you guys nervous? Could you tell other people were nervous on the plane?
Dude, we were so wore out and tired. We were sleeping.
Sleeping.
And we were supposed to land in there at nighttime. And when we got ready to fly in, it was getting bombed.
Oh.
And so our airplane did not go down. And we went to can't think of the place. It's a tourist resort right now. I can't remember what we flew in. We spent the night there, and then the next day we flew back in Vietnam, in Saigon.
So where you went, there was like no bombing or anything? Like it was...
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you first go after you landed?
Saigon.
Saigon, and then you...
That's where almost all the soldiers go there, and then they ship you out wherever they need you, or where you're supposed to be.
How do they know, or so they just ship you out where you're needed?
Well, you got orders, paperwork,
Yeah.
where you're going to go, and all that gets, I don't know, computer-wise then, or how it was done, but that's how you got sent. So and so had to get on this truck, and so on that bus, or what have you, and then they shipped you.
So there was like, did you ever have entertainers come and entertain you guys?
They came over there, but I never was around. I never got the privilege to be at one of their concerts.
Do you know any of them, like their names? Like who were they?
Bob Hope.
Really?
Oh yeah, he done a lot for a lot of the troops over there. And then there was, some other women, but I can't think who their names were offhand.
Yeah.
He just stands out. And there was I can't even think of what their names are. One was a color guy. I met him in the airport in the bathroom, which was on my way over. It was in Hawaii, I think. We landed in Hawaii when we went over.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you never got to experience those?
No.
Because why were you not able to experience those?
you had to be a so-and-so
Oh, yeah.
to get there, you know. Yeah. You know, I was just a private at that time,
Mhm.
doing the work, and they could not spare me.
Other than kitchen duty, what else did you do?
Well, that was when I was in the
Yeah.
hospital. Otherwise, I never had kitchen duty.
Did you do like other like work around the camp?
No, not really, no.
No, so
They had Vietnamese people to do that.
so you would
The helicopters come down and stuff.
like drops?
Helicopters, we were all around. We was on a,
Yeah.
we were a support team for the infantry.
Yeah.
And we had helicopters and tanks and army personnel carriers. We supported, you know, the
Yeah.
infantry. And we stayed stationed close to them all the time, and that was what the Vietnamese people was bombing,
Yeah.
to knock those things out, you know. And that's why we were always in danger. And around fuel and ammo dumps, you know,
Yeah.
they just kept large area of ammo, you know, for everybody. And they try to hit those all the time, you know, blow them up.
Yeah.
And you know, the tanks and the helicopters, or I rode on the helicopters many a times and going from one place to the other, delivering things. Most of the time probably was done with trucks. But then we'd have helicopters and tanks escorting us
Yeah.
down the roads, so we got there safe.
So mail, like when you were sending mail over
Mhm.
to America in America, did it take a really long time to get mail from America?
When I was, well, I should answer I guess why you asked me, but yes, it took quite a while.
Quite a while.
When I was I had my appendix, I was probably gone for a month to 6 weeks from my company,
Mhm.
and I never had one letter.
Wow.
Couldn't catch up with me.
Yeah.
They kept moving me. And, you know, because it just would take time, and
Yeah.
then we move and just made it that much more difficult. And to send a letter back to the United States, I don't know, a week maybe, 5 days.
Yeah. Did you ever get care packages? Like military families would send you like stuff you need, or just civilians of America?
I don't think so.
No.
I think my mom and dad sent something for
Yeah.
me a few times. But we had our own supply,
Yeah.
the Vietnam issue, that was my job to order that stuff.
Yeah. Was there many women in your like camp, or were they separated like in their own camp?
Well, at that time, there wasn't hardly any women at all.
Are they?
And where they were at, I really don't know.
Yeah. So it's mostly all men.
Well, Vietnamese,
Yeah.
women and men
Yeah.
and children, and you know, they came and they left at night, evening. They weren't there overnight.
It was like a day job here.
Mhm.
What did you guys do to keep like time passing? If you weren't working or anything, what were you
Always
doing?
working.
Oh, you're always working. Never had any downtime. Help.
Always doing something.
Were other people doing downtime? Did they ever have downtime? So you never got to read a book or play cards?
No, I wouldn't say that. Now, there was some downtime, I
Yeah.
guess. Write letters home. Later in bed with a flashlight, write letters, and I would think, I was wanting to say maybe like on a Sunday we had time to go to church. One church was for everybody.
Yeah. So they had Catholic church, Baptist church, everything.
One church,
One church.
all different religions.
That's really cool. So you met a lot of different people that way, didn't you?
Well, certain time was for Catholics and
Yeah.
certain times was for this, you know. Yeah.
Was there only one chaplain?
I can't tell you. They were army chaplains.
Yeah.
I would say there was more than one.
So you talked about your experience there, the coming back, and the going there. Do you remember anything else about your service? Like anything you want to tell me?
That I want to tell you? No. I think
I think you covered it. Do you know how your parents' reaction was to when you went over there? Like, what were they? Do you know how they were feeling when you were going over there? Did they want you? I bet they didn't want you to go over there, but like, did they support you?
Sure.
And you wrote letters a lot, communicating with your.
Much as we could.
Yeah. And they were very surprised and happy to have you back home, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions, so if you don't have anything else for me, then I think we're good. Cause do you want to show me the money?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have the albums with some
Yeah.
pictures and stuff.
You can show the.
Yeah, by looking at the pictures, a couple of things that come back to my mind.
Okay.
Memory. I bought a camera over there.
You did.
Uh-huh. Things were very, very reasonable over there.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't very costly. I took pictures whenever I had a chance. You know, I didn't always have it with me.
Yeah.
To be back at base camp. I think my pay was $65 a month, I think, and $50 combat pay. And I think I got paid $25 each month, the rest of it when I went home. And I lived on $25. Didn't have the time to spend it, nothing to
Yeah.
buy, you know, really. And then I did buy a camera.
Like, did you buy soap? Like,
No,
you were issued that.
that was never part of my job.
So do you want to show me the money?
Any student or teacher who would like
5
Wow.
cent piece.
to join the missionaries to the honor flight welcome
That's
home
really
event
cool.
Monday evening in Columbia,
$1.
Tennessee.
So this is $1. This is
25
cents.
25 cents, and this is
We
5
will leave
cents.
Hawaiian at approximately
Paper
8
money.
p.m. and
Wow.
return around
That's
10.
really awesome.
Yeah.
The winner of the Halloween locker
And this is
decorating contest
my brother's,
is
the last letter I got from my brother before he got killed in Vietnam.
with her Here's Johnny Locker from The Shining.
Envelopes and stuff look like.
Wow. That is so
That's how
cool.
I got sent back.
Tomorrow. Otherwise,
Letters that I sent back were the same way, and he wrote, he put a stamp on it, he put free on it.
Free.
Choir member for tickets. The next D Club meeting
The
will be on
handwriting.
Wednesday, November 14th.
No one writes in
5:30
cursive
to 6:30
anymore.
p.m. At Columbia College, located
Wow.
at 3314 Emerald Lane
So
in
long.
Jefferson City. The topic this month is various careers. We'll have an attorney,
This is
business
amazing.
owner, and a naturalist.
Yeah, the things that he had to say
Another reminder,
about being over there,
wear jeans, tennis
how
shoes,
scared he
Hawaiian
was.
shirt or a patriotic
Going
shirt
on.
for a minimum of $1 to raise.
So you both had different experiences, because he did other stuff that you didn't do, right?
He was more in hand-to-hand combat with him,
Yeah.
yes, than I was at most of the time. But you never knew when you were safe.
Yeah.
Rounds would come in anywhere, anytime, you know, just, he was in the tanks, you know, in the Army personnel carrier. That's what he done, was a driver and so forth, a gunner, set on him, you know. And, you know, that's what got him, a round came in and hit the tank.
How long was he in training for that?
How long he was in training?
Yeah, since, was it the same time as you?
No, he didn't go in till,
Well, like, you know, training camp, was his longer because he went for something else other than you did?
I don't think so. No, he went to basic and then he went to AIT and then I guess it was Army, what they called it, you know, to drive a tank.
Yeah.
They came out with a new type of tank. I can't remember. I remember him, one of his letters he wrote me, and
Yeah.
he got, got to be, in
Yeah.
that new tank they had, Sherman tank or something, I don't remember what he said it was.
Do you remember what they froze?
Yep, you're welcome to. This was the company I was with.
Is this your first time, like, was this your first experience, like the first place you were based at?
I think that's where I went first, was here, where this
Yeah.
time was, yeah.
Which one's you?
Neither one, like, they're just two friends of mine.
Oh. What's that?
That's sends a round into and blows up things. It's a gun, I guess you'd say. All these are different types of guns that we found and took, from the Vietnamese. And then this is what the buildings were like
Oh, that's cool.
on base camp. And there's some of the Vietnamese people.
So there was a
Yeah.
lot.
And the Vietnamese people got trucked in and back out of the base camp, back of these trucks.
You said there was a lot of helicopters.
Here's one of the guys hauling ice to the mess hall.
Wow, that's a lot of ice.
Yeah.
Did you wake
That's
up?
how, we didn't have refrigerators,
Yeah.
freezers. And then these are all, about any time you look into the sky, there was,
Yeah.
it was an airplane, a big airplane, a bomber airplane, or some type of
Yeah.
helicopter in the air. Different types of helicopters that done different things.
And this
Now,
is a lot of like.
This was on a road going where we needed to go, and I just took some pictures. This is how they were along the highway, the Vietnamese people. This was some of their fields, rice fields.
So did you guys eat a lot of rice since you were there?
Not really. I hardly ate any.
Wow.
There's some more different stuff that we had on the trucks we delivered.
So what was it like living with all these guys? Just lots of guys in one place.
All the guys here in school, no different, There's a picture of me with my combat stuff on.
You look really young.
We sat around at night and shot the shit and whatever. and did some drinking. And I can recall one night, I was laying in bed trying to get some sleep, and the colored guys were down on one end, raising hell. And the Mexicans were down on the other end, raising hell. And everybody was drinking. And there were just about, some people just got killed. They went ahead and got their M16s out and put rounds in them and were about to start firing on each other. And I got the hell out of there.
Wow. So this is, what's that?
That's a steam bath off of base camp. Just to show, here's a picture of me sitting around.
So that's what the beds were like?
There you go, yeah.
That's
Just
cool.
a mattress with a little screen mesh over top of it, keep everything. There was different things over there that you
Yeah.
wouldn't imagine was over there. That's why I took a picture of it.
Yeah. Oh, so you have, that's just like highways here.
Oh yeah, there was highways
Wow.
there, yeah, bridges. Yeah. One day they'd be there and the next day they'd be gone. They'd blow them up.
Yeah. So what village, do you know what village this is?
No, not anymore, I don't remember. Some that we just passed through.
Yeah.
They were riding all over the place. And they'd be yelling at us, and the small kids, they want C rations,
Yeah.
And we, throw them some C rations or whatever, or just
Yeah.
throw different things.
Did you
Or
ever,
for food, or
Yeah.
they were wanting food,
did you ever play like sports with the locals? Like, did you play soccer? Was that one of the,
No,
no? Did you play
basketball.
football? Did you ever play football? So basketball was a big thing?
Over there it probably was, yeah. There was no, it was just a place on headquarters to, that was set up. And we just go there, and play. This is the first infantry divisions.
That's their slogan?
That's their slogan.
No mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great.
Yeah,
Duty
and
first.
that's their patch that we wear, first infantry division patch.
That's really cool. So you experienced a lot over there.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Wow.
If this is the same thing, or, I mean, they're
Yeah.
different, but
Yeah.
more of the same thing.
Well, our time's getting really close. So, thank you so much
You're welcome.
for doing this, and I'm gonna go get Miss Oliver. Miss Oliver. Miss Oliver. Miss Oliver. Miss Oliver. Miss Oliver.